Yo, it's your boy, the Star, coming to you live from the pad, about to give it to you raw, and I'm about to keep it 1,000. So it's been a minute. I haven't really made any videos lately because I was in the process of looking for a home. If you know what looking for a home is like, it's an onerous task. You have to do a lot of research. You have to be on it. You got to put in your offers. So now everything is settled. And I got my house now, so you'll probably hear my dogs barking in the background. I don't have a quiet setup where I could go into a secluded environment. I got dogs barking. I got my baby running around acting crazy and all that. But you got to deal with it. Unfortunately, you're going to hear a little bit of background noise. Anyway, let's talk about the main stuff. Let's talk about the situation with DAngelo Russell. DAngelo Russell got traded along with Mozgov for to kind of cut that salary cap down, make some space for LeBron James and Paul George. And a lot of fans were kind of divided on that, and they said, "Oh, come on, man, how could Magic do this? He doesn't know what he's doing. That's jacked up. He's supposed to be the future." And what I find crazy, there's a lot of irony. See, there's a lot of things that they're giving Lonzo Ball praise for. This is the same things that they were giving DAngelo Russell praise for. His court passing, his vision. But I will admit, now that we have drafted Lonzo Ball, it's a different feel. This feels different from the other two draft picks. This feels like, wow, we got a once-in-a-generation type of player. I always believed that DAngelo Russell was, and is, I still don't believe he's a bust. You could go back to my video of is DAngelo Russell a bust? Do not believe that DAngelo Russell is a bust. I just think that there was a mentality that he carried. There was a attitude that how he came off, where he was soaked sometimes. Some games, when he was on fire, he knew he was on fire, and he could take over a game. I believe he has a talent. I don't think it's anything to do with his talent. I think it's more so a culmination of all the things that happened during that Nick Young season. Not quite having a rookie season that everybody expected, because he had a lot of hype coming into the Lakers, right? His summer league was lackluster. Wasn't really that good his first summer league. He came into the league the first season. Many could say, yeah, man, Byron Scott was crazy. I was one of them saying that, yeah, Byron Scott was crazy because he wasn't giving DAngelo Russell enough time and all of that. But in hindsight, DAngelo Russell had plenty of time and opportunity to kind of ball out, because Kobe was an old man. He was on his last leg. Literally on his last leg, and Kobe was a old man who was just trying to give Laker fans one more season. Hey, we know this is a losing season, but we just want to see Kobe, kind of like that game, his last game against the Utah Jazz, where he scored 60-something points. It was just a season that kind of felt like nobody really cared about. It was all about developing the young core. And I think that DAngelo Russell had a few games where he really balled out, but there was nothing. There was like that Brooklyn Nets game, which is irony that he got traded to the Brooklyn Nets. He had that Brooklyn Nets game where he showed out, and he had a Houston Rockets game that was like, wow, he really showed up. And I think that DAngelo Russell, it was kind of like once between the general managers, Jim Buss being fired, Mitch Kupchak being fired, and bringing in new personnel and having to adjust to Magic Johnson, who is the greatest Laker of all time, in my opinion, and Rob Pelinka, who is an agent for the other greatest Laker of all time, Kobe Bryant. And you have these guys coming in here, and they're kind of filling you out. They already have some kind of preconception of you from that Nick Young situation. You had the Nick Young situation, and it just felt like it was something off about the whole relationship between DAngelo Russell and the Lakers brass as far as having the patience to deal with that, because the Lakers are in a situation where we're trying to rebuild and we're trying to have this once in a generation type of player. And unfortunately, within those 2 years, the Lakers brass did not see those flashes that they drafted him for, and that he had to get traded because of that, as a means to shave salary contract for Mozgov, because Mozgov was a bad salary contract. I thought he was going to come in and be a big defensive pillar, but he came into the games sometimes, and it's just like, damn, you letting Ivica Zubac outplay you. So it had to be done. He was an asset that teams wanted, because you're not giving up Brandon Ingram and you're not giving up the second pick. So I think it was a great trade. I think that DAngelo Russell will do fine. Now, I saw something where Magic Johnson that recently came out, was a tweet by Baxter Holmes that said that, hey, we thank you, DAngelo Russell, for all you've done, but we need a leader. We need somebody who's going to come into this league, and we need somebody who's going to grab the bull by the horns, in a metaphorical sense. He didn't say grab the bull by the horns, but he said we need someone who is going to be a leader. I'm paraphrasing, but he's saying that he wants a player that other players want to follow and want them to be their leader, and he feels that Lonzo Ball is that guy. So it was kind of a slap in the face to DAngelo Russell and DAngelo Russell fans, because they were like, dude, how the hell are you going to say that to him when you just had told DAngelo Russell that you was going to work with him to help him be a better player? Didn't you do this? You trade him? So it was a lot of Laker fans that were pissed off and upset at Magic. And look, man, it's at the end of the day, it's just a business. And I'm rooting for DAngelo Russell, and I want him to succeed more than anybody else, because, like I said, I got videos defending him. I still don't believe that he's a bust. I just think that this may have been the thing that he needed, kind of like a wake-up check, a reality check, to let you know, hey, in the NBA, you have to come out every game, and you got to come out here ready to, basically try to kill your opponent on a basketball court. And if he had that killer mentality, this guy could be a triple-double machine. But maybe I'm delusional, all right? Maybe I'm delusional. Mac Hill would say I'm delusional, all right? But that's neither here nor there. So he's gone. He's traded. I wish him well. I hope he comes back and he has a good game against the Lakers. But I hope the Lakers win. I hope he, it ends up being a good game. So now we have that out the way. So now let's talk about Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball is, we all know who Lonzo Ball is, because we know who his daddy is, and we know his daddy was talking. Now, how you feel about LeVar, I don't know. I have my personal reservations about him. I think he's a great father. I think that he's a lot of times when it comes to parents, especially basketball parents or football parents or any kind of athlete's parents, you prefer them to be in the background. But all this guy is doing is trying to bring attention to his son. He's trying to build a brand. He's trying to build a brand for his family, instead of these corporate entities or these big shoe conglomerates where you have Nike hooked up with Converse and Jordan, and having all of these companies under, and you have Under Armour, you have Adidas, you have all of these companies that capitalize over these young players. And I think that he is saying, look, I'm going to create my own lane, right? I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to do my own stuff, and I'm going to bring my family, and we're going to create generational wealth. I see no problem with it. I can't afford his shoes, but more power to somebody who can afford his shoes. I have no problem with LeVar Ball, as long as Lonzo Ball is coming on the court and doing his thing. So that's my personal thing about LeVar Ball. I have nothing but respect for that man, because it's just America's not used to seeing a father like that. Okay, outspoken and talking like that. And another thing is, if nobody's putting the mics in front of him, he doesn't have the platform to speak. So some of these same people, these same companies ripping him, they're giving him a platform. They're giving him a mic. They're shoving a mic in his face because why? It's getting them ratings. It's getting them clicks. Just simply talk about LeVar Ball. It gets them. It generates web traffic. It generates buzz. You got all kinds of people just talking trash about LeVar Ball. I can't stand LeVar Ball. I hate LeVar Ball, man. Oh, I wish LeVar Ball would shut up. So you have all of these people talking about him, and it's become a way of social media marketing. He has a way. He has a great form of marketing. It's kind of what Kim Kardashian does. It's kind of what what's his name? A little B, the bass god. Hopefully I didn't sabotage his name, but these guys are great at web marketing. Word of mouth marketing. These guys are great at it. So I got nothing but respect for him, and I just hope that Lonzo Ball shows up, because it's a lot of players at his neck. You got Ben Simmons saying crazy pills, right? After LeVar Ball says, "Oh, I knew my boy was gonna make it," and all of that. And Joel Embiid following up saying, "Yeah, I hope you dunk on him so hard that his daddy can't save him." I laughed at it when I saw it. So Lonzo Ball is kind of cool, stoic. He's pretty much the opposite of his father. He's just, "Oh yeah, no, I don't believe that." Yada yada. But in his mind, he's thinking, "Y'all gotta pay for talking trash about my daddy." But hopefully, that fire. I mean, he shows up on the court. Lonzo Ball shows up on the court and really turns this franchise around. I don't expect for us to make it to the playoffs, but I do expect there to be more seats filled up because Lonzo Ball has all of this hype around him. I mean, just look at the videos of Lonzo Ball compared to all the other draft. If you go on ESPN.com, if you go on all of these other websites, just simply having Lonzo Ball, just typing in Lonzo Ball's name, you get so many clicks. So I think that Lonzo Ball will have a very, very good season with the Lakers. Now, what's the difference between Lonzo Ball and what's the difference between him and DAngelo Russell? Well, DAngelo Russell was a player who never was a fast-paced, push the ball, let's run down the court, throw the ball. He wasn't that type of point guard. He was a type of point guard where he would come down the court. If he had to open three, he's going for it. If he can throw a quick pass to the inside and get somebody to dunk it. So that was the type of player that DAngelo Russell was. Lonzo Ball is the type of player where he's gonna run down the court. He's gonna try to push it, fast pace, showtime type. It's very, very fast paced. It kind of reminds me of the LMU team way back. What was this? You guys don't know what I'm talking about. But those old, all the older guys, like 40 years old, you guys know what I'm talking about as far as LMU, where you had these guys running a fast-paced offense. And I think Lonzo Ball he has the agility to do that. And I think that he's a fast-paced, kind of what that's why Magic Johnson's like, yeah, I want you to break all of these records, because he says he sees a little bit of him in Lonzo Ball, because Lonzo Ball, he may have an unorthodox type of shooting form, it ain't as ugly as MKG, Michael K. Gilchrist, but it's odd, and it goes in though. So he has potential to really be something special, and it feels different. It just feels different that now he's a Laker. So I wish him well. That's said and done. Now let's get into Paul George. Paul George is somebody who said, look, I want to come to the Lakers. He just flat out told the management. Now, Kobe did it back in the day when a whistleblower from the Lakers organization had said he was the reason why Shaq got traded. Now, once that happened, Kobe said, look, I want to be traded. I demand I be traded to the Clippers. And he was about to get traded to the Clippers, and he had his shoes colored. I remember he had his shoes that was colored like the Clippers. Everything was about to be said and done. But Jerry Buss told him, look, I can't trade you, man. I'm sorry. Because, look, I'm not about to trade one big diamond for a bunch of small diamonds, in so many words. And hey, it was awkward that first year, but it turned out to be a great year. I believe that was the same season that they made a deal, and they got Paul Gasol from Memphis Grizzlies. And even though they made it to the finals and lost, it was still like, oh man, it changed Kobe. It changed. He was getting booed when I remember that season when he came out. Kobe Bryant was getting booed because he said that he wanted to get traded from the Lakers. So it's the same thing with Paul George. He might come out there and get booed. It might be like an awkward situation. But he obviously has his mind set on becoming a Laker. And I hope so, because there hasn't been anybody who wants to come to the Lakers since, I would say, Gary Payton and Karl Malone. Those were like the top free agents. And those guys were well past their prime when they came to the Lakers. So there hasn't been any big name free agents that decided that they wanted to come to the Lakers since those two. I may be off. Maybe you guys could drop a comment below and let me know, but that's from what I remember. So Paul George says he wants to be a Laker, and I hope so. Within a year, if he doesn't get traded to a team like the Celtics, who are rumored to get him during the draft, but that draft didn't fall through. I mean, that trade didn't fall through. Hopefully he decides to come to the Lakers. And guess what? You'll have a Paul George. You have Lonzo Ball. And you'll say, hey, look, LeBron James, if you decide that you want to come here, now that we clear some money off the books with Mozgov, if you decide that you want to come here, you got a Paul George here. See, you need something. LeBron James is not just going to come here based on Lonzo Ball. He's going to come here based on who else you can get. Now, it has to be Lonzo Ball having a out-of-his-mind type of season. It's going to take a Paul George type of player who he knows that he's had some good matches up against. And it's going to take those. It's like a triple alpha situation where you got two other Goliaths that you can go swinging. I mean, in a war with. So hopefully he sees what the Lakers has to offer in the year. It'll be 2018, 2019 season. Yeah. Because this upcoming season is 2017-2018. So it will be the 2018-2019 season. Hopefully he can see that and say, look, all right, I decide I'll be a Laker. Which leads me to believe that Chris Paul won't be so set out to leave the Clippers when he knows in a year or so, when you have somebody like Jerry West, who formulated the Golden State Warriors kind of big four, I would say. That's a big four. When you have somebody who formulated that and has been behind so many NBA championships, from the Lakers to, you could say, being a mentor to Pat Riley, and Pat Riley winning championships with the Heat. You could say he's behind a lot of championships, but he's coming to the Clippers. I mean, he's already went to the Clippers. And now you have a situation where you got Jerry West giving the Clippers advice on what they should do. And that looks like another attractive option if Blake Griffin and CP3 decide that they want to stay with the Clippers, and which I believe is hard for them to leave when you got that much money on the table. Now, Chris Paul may say, you know what, hey, look, I'm just going to go for the damn money. or I'm just gonna stay with the Clippers, or Chris Paul may say, look, I'm just gonna have to leave. I'm gonna just take a shorter contract and sign with the Spurs, because as the current I guess his contract states, he'll be getting off of like what, 35, 36 years old if he decides to resign with the Clippers. And he might say, you know what, nah, I'm cool. I'll just go ahead and chase this ring and get with the Spurs, which I think would be a great move for Chris Paul. He's a very, very talented point guard. After all, he was about to be the Lakers point guard. That's enough Clippers talk. But as far as the Lakers, that's where we're at. We got Lonzo Ball. We have, Julius Randle, who's in incredible shape. We have a couple other draft picks. I'm not too fond of these other players. Don't get me to lying. Some guy from Utah. Now, I've heard of raving reviews about that. I think his name is Josh Hart, who's from Villanova. I've heard raving reviews from almost all of the people that I've, that's from Jamel Hill to, different scouts and people that you follow on Twitter that have basketball knowledge. They're all like, yeah, Josh Hart is a solid player. He's a player that could just come in and play, flat out play, because he's a little bit older. He's not a guy that's going to come in here, I don't know what to do. He's kind of it's kind of like the same thing with Larry Nance. Larry Nance is older than all of the other rookies and some of the players that are already on the team, because he went through a four years of college. So you got the Utah guy, you got him, and some other guy who I don't even know who's gonna make the team. I think he's from Indiana. He might be from Indiana. It might be from, I don't even know what team this guy comes from. But he got drafted almost like the last pick for the Lakers. And I don't know enough about him. But we'll see if he makes the team. We just have to, and then Summer League, you're going to have some players that are going to have opportunity to make the Laker roster through being an unsigned free agent that's trying to make the roster. But we don't have that many players. I believe it's 13 players on the roster, something like that. 13, 14 players on the roster who may make it, who may not. Plus, we haven't gotten into free agency. We'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be a very interesting season. It's your boy D-Star. Drop a comment below. Like, dislike, whatever, man. Drop a comment below. Peace. I'm out.